All right, so today I got to install a linear drain. So for some reason, when they installed the AC for this house, they ran the condensation line directly out of in front of the garage. But there's two walkways. There's one that comes down here and the other one that comes down here in front of the house. This is the main access for my mother's wheelchair. And as this drains, it just, right now it's dried up because it's finally, regular temperatures here in Florida. But normally this is just completely caked in water and algae and slime, and it's a problem. So I'm gonna clean this up, mark it out. I have this 2x2 stainless steel pipe that I had a friend plasma cut for me with our family name and the day of our closing for this house. I'm gonna cut a groove in here with my angle grinder and get this seated. So hopefully it won't be too bad. I'll have to just cut an angle on here to match wherever I put it in with the line, but it should be pretty straightforward. And I mean, if anybody else has an issue like this, I think that this would, this will suffice with most. We'll see. I mean, this was kind of more of like a fun project to see if cutting it out with the plasma cutter will still work. So I'm gonna line this up, trace it out, cut it into this rock bed, and we're gonna go from there. I hope it works. Otherwise, I'm only gonna fix it down with silicone, so we'll be able to pull it back out if it doesn't and put a regular linear drain in. But if I can get away with this, my buddy had the scrap from a job, so he didn't even charge me for it. So, basically free, just some time and the cost of a masonry bit. So let's go ahead and see how it comes out. Hey guys, I'm Jared with D.A.D.S. Welcome to the D.A.D.S Den.
Okay, so getting into this project now, just first I'm going to clean up this area. I'm not going to power wash yet. I'm just going to sweep this up, clear it up so I can see enough to get all of this lined up and ready to go. And all I'm going to use to mark this with, which you'll see in a minute, is I'm going to line the drain up. I have a soapstone from my welding and metalworking kit, and I'm just going to mark the ground out with that. It leaves a nice solid white line. Then I can situate everything. All right, so now that everything's marked out nicely and I can see what I'm working with, I'm going to grab my angle grinder with a 4-inch masonry cutoff wheel, start cutting in the edge profile of the groove, and then I'll go back through and do some cross hatching to make it easier when I go back with the hammer drill chisel to break up all of the inside. But this was also the first and probably biggest mistake I made through this entire project, because I did not pick a big enough cutoff wheel. So this ended up cutting probably 1/4 to 1/2 inch too shallow, which made a lot more work with the rotary chisel, the hammer chisel. So I wish I had gone back and gotten a 5-inch cutoff wheel. That would have made this so much easier when I went to break it off, because it should have been almost a correct depth right off the bat. So you'll get to watch me now here struggle going back and forth with a ton of chiseling, just going in, cleaning out, going in, cleaning out. Wasn't hard, but it just took a lot longer than it should have. So, go back, always measure your tools as well. Don't just measure whatever you're cutting. I really should have taken a better look at how deep I could cut with that cutoff wheel, and it would have made life a lot easier. Okay, now that I've gotten the majority of the debris cleaned out, I can kind of see the depth issue. So I'm trying to get a little bit deeper. I'm also trying to do a slight beveled undercut, so that I'd rather have the bottom of this groove be wider to either accept a little bit of silicone if I ever need to pull it up and silicone under it. Also just to make fitting it easier. I need the top to be snug. I don't need the underneath to be snug, because the water's just going to drain down and out through the steel tube. So I'm not worried about this groove being completely tight all around, as long as it's leading down and away from the house. And like I just said, now that I've cut a little bit deeper along those edges, got some grooves in there, I'm just going to take this the hammer drill back with the chisel bit and just dig more into it, break up what I can. Ended up being a little bit easier at this point. So now I'm just grabbing my leaf blower. This made blowing out a lot of these chunks a lot easier. Got the dust out so I could really see where I was working with. It's also going to let me really fine tune the rest of this fit pretty well. So the pipe I'm going to end up cutting off camera, mainly because I forgot to set it up to use the angle grinder to cut the thing to length. But yeah, here's the final fitting. It sat in there really nice. I gave it a couple little taps just to snug it in there. And yeah, it just fit great. I was, pretty happy with it. Like I said, it took me a lot longer than I had originally anticipated it was going to, but that was my fault for just not, again, like I'm going to say, not checking the size of the tool I was using, which would have saved me a whole bunch.
All right, so this has been done for a little while. Just been looking for a good day to show you how well it's working. So this is the condensation line for my AC unit. And as you can see, it's dripping. So before, this whole thing was green and slimy, and it was really hard. My mother is in a wheelchair with her during her rehab, and it was very hard to get her in and out of a car. She likes to come down this way. So it's working beautifully. It's staying nice and shiny. I have done nothing to this other than some light caulking, and yeah, I mean, this was a really fun, easy one. It took a little bit longer than I expected because I did not use the right size cutting blade, so a little extra work there. But like I've said before, I have no idea what I'm doing most of the time. I'm just a dumbass doing stuff, and we figured it out. We got it to work, and now it's working great. And please like, subscribe. We got a ton more stuff coming out and a lot of stuff planned. So I look forward to hearing from you guys, seeing you guys. Thank you so much.